Hey, what's going on, YouTube land? It's me, TJ, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Wrestling Nostalgia, where I get my wrestling content on these videos. So today, we are going to be reviewing NXT Great American Bash. So, yo, I just got done watching AEW's All in Texas and trying to do all three, including Saturday night's lame event, which I probably was go ahead and skip because I'm gonna be honest with you, really wasn't nothing worth watching. But anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Great American Bash, and we're gonna start off right off rip with Jasper versus Javon. So this match started off with Jasper dominating like a good majority of this match. Honestly, I really thought he was gonna win, and he got a considerable amount of size and weight up off of Javon. And Javon is not a short guy like himself. He's not as bulky as Jasper is. But anyways, he wound up like just go ahead and just throwing him around and beating him up. But you know, Javon is a scrappy dude. He wasn't trying to like go out like that. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like he was beating him up back. But a good majority of this match, Javon was definitely getting his butt handed to him. And then like it was kind of going back and forth like a little bit until like the middle of the match. And Jasper was like basically taking control and dominating like a good majority of the match. And then Javon would like kind of get a little flurry in, push come to shove. Towards the end of the match, it looked like Jasper was going to go ahead and just wrap this match up and try to like finish him off. But Javon wound up rolling up Jasper 1, 2, 3, and Javon Evans won the match. I was genuinely shocked. I was like, man, y'all really backing y'all really backing that horse, ain't y'all? Like, honestly, I was, like I said before, I was shocked. I don't know what else to say, but congratulations. But let's just go ahead and move on to the next matchup. But like I said before, I'm still genuinely shocked because, like, that man is a freaking beast, and he wound up getting rolled up and pinned, and he got packed out. So let's just go ahead and move on. In this next matchup, it is for the Women's North American Championship. It is Soruka putting up her championship against Izzy Dame. So, in the beginning of the match, Tatum Paxley wound up slapping the taste out of Zaria's mouth. And she didn't like that one, now did she?
You ain't like that one, did you?
And then the referee like are breaking, or should I say separating the two, because you know the match is not with them, it's with the people that's in the ring. So as he's busy with Zaria and she wants to rightfully get her hands back on Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dane wind up doing her finisher on her like a spine buster layout maneuver, but the referee was like busy with Zaria, so she was able to get her foot on the rope once the referee, you know, paid attention, and 1, 2, she got her foot on the rope, whatever. So then this is when Izzy wind up like kind of like working out on Soruka, and of course Soruka after a while like kind of gets some little fight back in her, and she kind of gets shut down here and there. But this match was definitely like a back and forth bout, and I remember at one point in the match where Soruka wound up doing a spear, and while the referee was going down for a 3, Tatum Paxley wound up putting Izzy Dame foot on the rope. So that breaks up the 3 count. So Zaria wound up spearing the hell out of Tatum Paxley, laying her out. So now back in the ring, this is where Izzy Dame, while she was outside the ring, she slaps Soruka, and then she gets back in the ring, and then the two kind of go back and forth. Oh, and before I like go to the end, I remember another point in the match where Izzy looked like she was going to do a back suplex, but Soruka wound up doing a backflip or whatever out of it. And I was like, dang, that was hot. That's when she did the spear. And then after like a little bit back and forth later, she wound up hitting her soul snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Soruka retains her North American Women's Championship. I tell you one thing. I love this whole comeback arc of Soruka because we have definitely seen, you know, the rise of Soruka. And honestly, with her, like, going on a rise like in the beginning of her career, and then she wound up getting set back, and she had to set out for like a year or so, and because of a leg injury, and then coming back from her injury, and then having match after match after match and not missing a step in the ring, and showing why she is definitely one of the best women's wrestlers in NXT. I'm definitely here for it. I'm so glad that she won the NXT Women's Championship. It was long overdue, and I'm definitely here for it. Hopefully we see more out of her, And once she gets to that main roster, she's definitely going to give Charlotte a run for her money. But we have to wait and see how everything formulates with that. In our next matchup, it is for the NXT North American Championship. Ethan Page putting up his championship against Ricky Saints. We start off with Ricky just throwing bows at Ethan Page, and it is a nasty brawl. They wind up beating each other up like outside of the ring, and they wind up going up into the rafters, up into like where the booths and stuff is, like where the fans are, and they're just beating each other up all the way up until like they get back into the ring circle in the ring, and then they beat each other up in the ring. I remember that like Ricky or Ethan had set up these like steel railings or whatever onto the turnbuckle, and Ricky wound up getting suplexed on him, and Ethan wound up getting a 2 count, and then they wind up going back into the rafters, and then like as they're like fighting it out, and then they go like in the back area a little bit more towards the WWE superstars are, all of a sudden I see Jasper, and I'm like, shouldn't he be in the locker room? Because they were like in an area where the seamstress and stuff like that were. So I'm like, okay, I kind of knew that was going to play a factor, because after they're like beating each other up like in the back, I remember Ricky wound up like doing a drop kick or whatever. And then as they're like fighting out, Ricky accidentally bumps into Jasper, and then Jasper winds up like slamming him back first onto like the craters. So then I knew from there that it was just curtains for Ricky Saints after that. So as they're like fighting it out or whatever back in the ring, as they're like going back and forth, I remember at one point Ricky wound up doing a tornado DDT off of the referee. I said, you are so disrespectful. You couldn't have did that on the LED lights. They were right there. They was like, nah, I'm gonna use the referee. He got a 2 count, and then back and forth later, Ricky Saints wound up getting put through the tables with the Eagles Edge. 1, 2, 3. Ethan Page retains the NXT North American Championship, and he has Jasper to thank for that. His lucky stars definitely heavily for that. And yeah, I don't think this is gonna be over with. They're going through like a full throttle like rivalry thing they're doing here, and I'm okay with it honestly, because it's really getting over. The fans are behind it, and I feel like they're kind of doing a repeat of Trick Williams and Ethan Page, and if so, again, I'm here for it. And Ricky Saints is definitely one to stay in WWE, period. I don't know if this is going to be his last match. I don't know if they're going to keep him for a little bit longer. I don't know why they would get rid of him right now. I mean, y'all need all the star power y'all can get. And if I were to book it, I would definitely have Ricky Saints win the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver, and then have Oba go to the main roster. But I'm kind of fearful of Oba going to the main roster. So we're just going to end here and, yeah, move on to the next one. In this next segment, it is a TNA contract signing for Slammiversary. So it is Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike. I'm going to keep this short and sweet and get to the good stuff. So basically, Mike said that he's going to make a promise to his daughter that he's going to take the world title away from Trick Williams. And then this is where Joe Hendry said that, you know, we both are on the same page with that, but I'm going to be the one to take the world title. But then this is when Trick Williams says that I'm the sizzle in the steak. You know, I'm him and y'all both aren't. And I'm going to take home the TNA world title, and y'all just going to have to understand it. It's Trick-a-nay, and it's always going to be Trick-a-nay. Yeah, let's talk about it. So this is where Trick Williams, after everybody has their signatures and everything like that, he winds up getting out the ring, and then Joe Hendry wound up manhandling Trick Williams like that's his wife. Oh, look here, woman, we ain't finished talking yet. I said, ooh. And he said, oh, it's one thing me and Mike can agree on, and it's that you talk too much, and the TNA superstar is going to take home that title. So they wind up beating up on him, taking turns, and then they wind up putting him through the table. But then after this is where Dark State come out, and they wind up beating up on Joe Hendry and Mike, and this is where the segment ends. And Trick was already like out the ring, so I guess they didn't really care about what Trick had going on. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you. If I had to pick who I wanted to win at Slammiversary, of course, Trick Williams. I don't want him to lose it until probably like the next pay-per-view event, or maybe the one after. But definitely he needs to lose it at the pay-per-view event in TNA. and then he can go ahead and go to, I guess, one of the main rosters. But other than that, it's always going to be Trick Williams. But being as though that he is a 4-time champion on NXT, there's no reason why he should be getting lackluster booking. But we have to wait and see what's going to happen. What brand is Trick Williams going to pick to wrestle on? And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. In this next matchup, it is for the NXT Championship. It is Oba putting up his title against Tashiki. I think I said that right. So anyways, in the beginning of the match, they wind up like doing the test of strength. And of course, rightfully so, Oba is like overpowering him in the first half of this match. And then Tashiki is like, like fighting back, and they're gonna kind of going back and forth. And as the match progresses, like they are doing like this power struggle and everything of that nature. So then as they're like going back and forth, the referee winds up getting knocked down. Like, oh my goodness, it was like really bad. Like he wound up getting uppercut like in the corner. So then after that, this is when Josh Bridges winds up having the NXT title, and he slams it over Oba's head while he was like in a powerbomb position, like about to, do his fall from grace. But of course that doesn't happen. So Tashiki winds up like backdropping him, and then he winds up going up to the top rope, or he was about to go ahead and hit his finisher. But before he could do that, he wound up saying that Josh had like the title in his hand, and he all like, wait a minute, what you do? Like, because he basically said before the matchup that he wanted to do it when honored, like win the title. But he's jaw jacking with him. Oba wound up getting up. The two kind of going back and forth. And then the referee finally gets up. But Josh winds up taking his necklace off. He was like, you need to do something. Come on, here. And I'm like, why are you trying to do something further? Like, he already said that he doesn't want to win the title that way. And I don't, like, where was your brain at? Like, what was you thinking? So he winds up, push kind of shove. Oba winds up knocking him off of the apron. Accidentally, though, because Tashiki wound up moving out the way. He rolls him up, but 1-2, he kicks out. Oba wind up catching him with the fall from grace powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Oba successfully retains his NXT title. So this was actually a pretty decent matchup. I didn't expect too much out of this, so it wasn't like, I was so disappointed or whatever, because honestly, there's not like a lot of top stars on NXT. So for what it's for, the match was pretty solid. Congratulations to Oba, and if I were the one that were booking his championship reign, I wouldn't have him lose that championship until next year's Stand and Deliver, because somebody needs to break up Adam Cole's record. Definitely. It needs to happen like, next year, of course, because he has to pass the threshold of 365 days, and then after, 405, I think, long as he passed that, that's fine with me, but we have to wait and see how that's going to play out. But congratulations again to Obafemi and his dominant reign so far as NXT champion. And finally, we are here at our main event. It is the tag team match of Blair Monroe and Jordynne Grace versus Fatal Influence. So this match starts off with, I believe, Jordynne Grace and Fallon Henley. They go back and forth, and Fallon's kind of like outmaneuvering Jordynne Grace until she finally gets her hands on her and kind of lays her out. I think JCJ and Blake Monroe wind up mixing it up. But anyway, she winds up hitting her with like quite of impressive moves. And I'm like, okay, Blake was definitely in that PC Center cooking. But I mean, she's been a great, fantastic, fabulous wrestler anyway, because if anybody knows her AEW work, she was definitely the Wicked of the West, okay? She is definitely not no slouch in that ring. So she wound up, mixing it up and got the advantage. And then I believe her and JCJ wound up like mixing it up in the ring. And then they wind up finally getting her down, and then they were like breaking her apart. And then I think she like kind of fought back, and then she wound up tagging in Jordynne Grace. The two kind of had like a cute little back and forth, and then JCJ kind of took Blake Monroe down. Jasmine Nix kind of got like frequently involved into this matchup, and I believe whoever the TNA Knockouts champion is, she wound up making a beeline to the ring and shoot her away. So towards the end of the match, Blake and I believe the women's champion wind up getting involved with each other and like mixing it up. They had a cute little back and forth. And then this is when Jordynne Grace wind up helping out and, hitting JCJ. And then this is where Blake Monroe wound up hitting her double arm DDT. 1, 2, 3. She gets a pinfall victory over the NXT Women's Champion. So this tells me a roundabout way that Jordynne Grace is not winning the NXT Women's Championship. So I think what's going to happen is through shenanigans. JCJ definitely, with everybody keeps saying, oh, the most beatable NXT Women's Champion. Just for that alone, I don't feel like Jordynne is going to win the NXT Championship. But this will be kind of like a waste, because that means this will be the third NXT PLE event that she lost a championship match. So where do we go from here for Jordynne Grace? Do she goes to SmackDown, Raw? Like, because I don't see her being on NXT for much longer. But anyways, congratulations to Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe. Definitely want to see more from Blake Monroe and what the NXT future holds for her. And yeah, comment down below. How did you feel about NXT Great American Bash? Did you like it? I think it was pretty decent. Comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. Help me grow the channel. Your love and support, we greatly appreciate it. Peace. TJ, I'm out.